And now for another episode of Confessions of an Online Psychic. With your host, novelist, filmmaker, and authentic psychic, Dave Thompson.
Well, welcome to the first installment of what I like to call my Confessions of an Online Psychic. Now, everybody, I'm a professional photographer, novelist, filmmaker, and I've been a professional psychic for over 20 years. Well, actually, probably longer than that. And I've been doing the psychic thing for quite a while. In 1979, I discovered I had this wonderful ability. But enough about my photography. I'm here to talk about being a psychic. When I was a kid, I was interested in everything paranormal. UFOs initially, ghosts, ESP. My uncle had this magazine subscription to Fate magazine, and he would bring those down occasionally, and I would just read those things like crazy. I would be on those things the way most preteens are on a Playboy magazine. And I started also having dreams that would only be possibly a past life. So then we go back a little further. About that same time in 1975, I was at my grandmother's. I was sleeping in the living room, and I was awakened in the middle of the night by a bright light in my face, a blue light. It was blinding. And I opened up my eyes thinking I was going to see somebody, in the other room with the light on. Instead, I saw this blue flame floating at the foot of my bed. I started to panic, and before I got any further, I was hit by this warmth that said basically, and a voice in my head that said, "Go back to sleep, it's only me." This was a clue. So between the keen interest I had in ESP, it wasn't surprising that I started also doing magic. And the thing is most of my abilities lay dormant until I really got into doing magic. And in magic, you have to have an alternate frame of mind. Lisa calls it gnosis. I call it alpha state. And that's when it came to me that, I can do psychic stuff while in this altered state of mind. So, and at the same time, I think this was in 1994, I had a reading with a well-known psychic, and he said, "Dude, you're running a lot of psychic energy. You better learn to develop it or it's going to hurt you later on." And I figured that out. It's because when you have psychic ability and you're starting to see things, there's that part of you that really gets kind of screwed up, and you go into a weird place mentally until you can develop and figure out what it is and what's going on. So I started using self-hypnosis tapes, and it started to increase and hone my abilities. Flash forward a couple of years, and in 2001, through a friend of a friend, I was invited to apply to a psychic network to be one of their professional psychics. I'll give you a hint to who that was.
There's a birthmark somewhere on his face, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the daddy.
Oh, yes.
The light of truth will not be denied. Call now.
Call 1-800-988-7754.
Yeah, there was also known as the Psychic Friends Network. And they ran this series of 900 lines. Yeah, those people. So I do have to say later on she was shut down as being a scam. But let me tell you how that worked. When I applied, they tested me. Somebody called me up and I did a reading for them. And I only do really just the readings. When I'm doing readings for other people right now, I just start seeing stuff or start hearing stuff and I start passing that along. And that's pretty much what happened during this test. Okay, so they sent me an offer. And I said, "Dude, you can be one of our psychics." And that's when things got kind of weird. So instead of using my natural abilities, I was shown a website to go to. I log in onto the website, and there's this portal that I would use. And I was only allowed to do online tarot cards. In other words, the service would deal the cards for me and tell me what to say about each card. And same thing with the numerology. And basically, oh my God. In fact, they didn't even call them clients, okay? I started calling them suckers because the only way we got paid was if we kept the people online for well past that initial 5 minutes. And at the most, I was maybe making 5% of what this company was bringing in for each charge on the 900 line. So basically, it was a scam for the clients, a scam for the people working for them. Well, there was another group of psychics that I started talking to, and there was one person there who said, hey, you need to apply for our company. And that company was a little better. We did all of our readings online in chat rooms, and then later it evolved where I would be calling the client through their 800 watts line, and we would do readings that way. I got paid a bit more. It wasn't quite as being chained to a desk like it was with the Psychic Friends Network. I'm telling you guys, the Psychic Friends Network was a sweatshop without actually having to be in a sweatshop. It's literally chained to my desk. I had to be back to that phone for the certain time periods. If I logged out to go to the bathroom, they would fuss at me. And with the new place, after a while, I started where I had my own group of clients who were always calling me up about stuff. But the thing is, I had a fake persona with a fake photograph. And I would say 50% of all the calls were people, lonely hearts type of stuff. So I'm not into that. You know, I was still practicing magic. So then I decided to quit that, and I just focused on my filmmaking, my writing, my photography. But now recently I've started getting back into the photography thing, and I've been still doing online psychic readings. And these we use Zoom, which is a video software conferencing thing, so I can see the client as I'm talking to them. I can make a recording of what's going on. And what we do then is I'll spend a few minutes just bullshitting with the person I'm talking to until I start picking up stuff. And then, last bunch of readings included talking to guides, talking to somebody who's deceased that was in their area. I found out some interesting stuff too. One person had a guide that was from an ancient civilization, was talking about a branch of magic that I had never even heard of. And then I later find out, oh my God, that's for real. There really is a magic based on that old culture, something I'd never thought about. So that's my history. That's how I got started with this. That's it. This is the first episode of
Confessions of an Online Psychic.
That's a cool little voiceover. Anyway, I'll catch y'all later. Have a good one.